Perfect.
So here we have Sam. I didn't ask you how to pronounce your last name. Is it Jodry?
Well, it's a French last name, so you would pronounce it Jodry, but I guess in English you could
Yes.
go for Jodry.
All right. Well, I think our connection is going to be a little weak, so I'll do my best to never interrupt you. But your film Bengal, which I particularly love your subtitle, which I won't say the French, but your translation was "or before happiness strikes." I love the way you wrote that happiness is something that can strike. But anyone who sees this will have just seen the film, and they'll know it's this very powerful film, very well written, very well directed. I'm really impressed by how you were able to, in a very brief amount of time, just give us such a complete story. These characters, we understand so much about their dynamics, not just between the three of them, but between Luke and Chris. It's really just such a well-made film. I just want to start off by congratulating you for some superb work.
Thank you. I appreciate it a lot. Thank you.
Yeah, especially like the interaction between the two men, where we see that that they're not equals, and one treats the other quite poorly.
Yeah. It was the core of their relationship. Especially the age gap, like kind of explained that in a way, I think. And there was this kind of duality between, like maybe and age and life experiences, and also, kind of the mental of each other. It just kind of all blended in, and it kind of just explains a lot about their situation, the way they treat each other throughout the story, and their entire life, outside of the frame of the movie.
Yeah. So what was the inspiration? What got you started writing this project? Oh, you're a little frozen.
I actually started off thinking about a character that was just problematic in his acting, in his way of interpreting, the world, and his views of other people's reaction or lifestyle. Basically a character that just doesn't fit in any kind of general particular human relationship. And that was Luke, the main character. And after that, I kind of just taken some of like characters that inspired me in my life to write the people that surrounded this guy. So yeah, the core of the story is really about Luke, and that's the main point. That's where I started writing. That's with him. That's with that guy.
Right, and you take this young man who's a bit chaotic, and you put him into a serene situation, and you see what happens.
Exactly. Yeah, something he can't stand, And you just see the chaos maybe in his head taking over everything.
Is he like a tiger? Is that why you went with the title Bengal, or?
There's a lot of things, but basically, yeah, it just this idea of this kind of primitive character, like the primitive mind was at play at first, and we just we were thinking, my friend and I, because I developed the story with one of my good friends. We went to school together, and he did the DOP on the project. And visually, we wanted to have the idea of something that was kind of a wild environment, although we were placed in a really, kind of like you said, serene, but the visual had to be wild. So this whole idea of Bengal and the tiger and the yellow and his position, is the way he moves, came it just all kind of you know, comes from the title. Actually, I think we started off finding the title Bengal really appealing, and then the whole visual and the mise en scène from my part just kind of went from there.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about. Most of my early questions were about story, but the filmmaking too is superb. Not only did you get fantastic performances, but the look is very distinct. And actually, one of the jury members, her
Mhm.
question for you was, "I love the editing in this film, jumping out of sequence sometimes. Was that a decision you made during the writing process, or was it during the production process, or did it come later in the editing room?"
It's a really interesting question, but it actually it started at the editing table when we were, because we shot the movie mainly in long takes. We were interested in cutting the movie that way to let Luke express itself in that environment that was not his, and that was really uncomfortable. And then we arrived at the editing table, and we were just really interested in the idea of kind of disconstructing those shots to get closer to Luke's mind and Luke's way at looking at this environment. So it was just yeah, it was an at the editing process, and it was just a way to kind of go further within Luke's inner, inner mind, like inner capacity of look at things.
Yeah, yeah. You put the viewer in the same inconsistent space that he's occupying, which
Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
and it's
We
very
wanted to go for
effective.
his point of view.
Yeah, yeah. You that it well
Yeah,
done.
thank you.
Very,
Thank you.
very
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. I every time I look at it, I'm really happy of the result. Because me and my editor, Marie Soleil, who like worked hours on the project, we worked a lot. Like we worked closer to each other. We were close to at the editing process, but it was like yeah, yeah. It's a good result.
For sure. And it's and one thing another thing, it's actually my question, not one of the jury members, but when did you decide on that ending? Because I find the ending, because there is such a threat of violence when Luke is climbing on top of Chris and gets pushed off on the couch, and then when it's Luke and Joe and what he does with the ring, there's a threat of violence, and then he actually chooses submission in a way. Was that early in the writing process you decided to have him exit the scene peacefully, or when did you come to that decision? Hopefully you can hear me.
It's been bugging a lot. I kind of understood the question, but I feel like there's parts I didn't get from the question. But I think that you're asking me about the ending and why ending it so peacefully with the characters. Is that what you asked?
Yeah, that you chose to have there was a threat of violence from Luke, and
Uh huh.
instead he, even as he puts his mouth on her hand, you're still the threat is there, and then you at least as a writer you chose to end it so elegantly. I was just asking
Yeah.
when
Well, it
that
was part
decision
of
was made.
Okay. Well, that decision was still done at the editing process, but the idea of ending it in Luke's way with Luke's decision, kind of, it was always part of the script, but we just decided that it would be a really open ending for Luke, and kind of give this idea that from now on he's not going to be controlled, or he decides not to be controlled by anybody around him or his emotion or anything else. He's just going his own way from now on, and that's when I think, well, that's the thesis of this movie. That's when I guess happiness strikes. That's when you can take over your own decision in life. And that was the whole idea with ending it with that kind of, this way, actually.
Yeah. He becomes his own agent. Yeah, he chooses to walk away from actually sort of an abusive situation. I think Chris is quite clearly using him.
I mean, kind of unconsciously, but he definitely uses him for his own, advantage or just fun. There's kind of love there, but it's not really. You can't really accept it. You won't accept that kind of love because Charles has another life than what Luke is wishing for, and that's when Luke has to kind of well notice that he has to understand that, and that's when Josiane, the girlfriend, is just putting her foot down and basically asking him to get out as fast as he can, you know.
Yeah, and rejects him as a family member. Yeah, even though there is
Hmm.
the photo of them from years ago.
Yeah,
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 that
exactly.
was that was such effective filmmaking that you gave us backstory just with an old picture on a dresser. Are
Yeah,
you
and
thinking?
actually, the fun part of that picture is we took it on set. These guys, they never we had like rehearsing and stuff, and we never thought of taking that photo, and like before, and we were on set, and we're like, we totally forgot about taking that photo, and on set we just took that photo, we ran to a store to just get it printed, and it was the photo that ended up in the final cut of the movie, which is yeah, it was an interesting kind of shooting star.
You made it work. It worked out great. Well, we sort of have reached the end of our 15 minutes. Is there anything you want to add? I'm telling everyone it's my regret that we didn't have a theater of, 50, 60 people uh, giving you the positive feedback that a great film like this deserves. It
Hmm.
would have been, it's especially on a big projection. I think your film looks so good and the story is so good that really would have lent itself wonderfully to the theatrical experience.
Well, I really appreciate what you're saying, and you know what? The film has yet to have its big screen, like it has to be seen on the big screen because ever since its festival journey has started, it started off with the virus. So there's not has like we didn't have a chance to project it on the big screen yet. So I mean, my final words would be I can't wait myself to see it on the big screen because I haven't seen that. And yeah, that's my big hope for the end of 2020 or as soon as it can be possible to do so, to see that short film on the big screen.
It would be fantastic. Well, who knows? Whenever this stuff gets resolved, I don't know. Maybe we'll be able to do something with Film
Uh-huh.
Invasion and do a salute to last. Maybe in 2021 we'll do a salute to 2020. I don't know. I can't make
That'd be
promises.
great. That'd
um,
be amazing.
but thanks so much, Sam. It was a pleasure. I hope that the lag. I don't know what this will look like, but I hope that the lag. You're in Montreal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm from Montreal in Quebec. Yeah, exactly.
All right. So now people know where you're from, and thank you for your film. It's a great film. It's
Thank you.
always extra pleasurable for us having a neighborhood festival in Los Angeles to get work from other cities. It's always really nice to see. So I appreciate you submitting to us.
Well, thank you for having my film. It's a pleasure to be in my Los Angeles premiere. So I really appreciate it too.
All right. Well, thank you so much, and hopefully we'll talk soon. All right. I'm just gonna hit
Yes. All
stop
right. Thank you.
in case the lag continues to drive people crazy. But thank you. Thank you for the film.
Thank you.